Schwarzenegger's new book is called Total Recall. It's an extraordinary story. Yeah, however it's ended up this year, if you go back before all this scandal broke, really one of the most extraordinary career paths I've ever read. You're a guy who came from nothing. You were born in a small Austrian town called Thar. A tiny house, no plumbing, toilet, shower, or phone. And yet you begin to get on this journey that brings you to America. You become the #1 bodybuilder in the world, the #1 movie star in the world, then a great politician, the governor of the biggest state in the country. When you go back to that little boy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, what was it about you, do you think, that gave you the drive to achieve all this?
I think that I had the most extraordinary talent in visualizing. I always, as a kid, had a vision, and the vision was so real that I really felt that I can accomplish and turn those visions into reality. Of course, I recognized very quickly that that means a lot of work, a hell of a lot of work, and I was willing to do that. So when I saw myself as a bodybuilding champion, and I saw the first photograph of a British bodybuilder by the name of Reg Park, and I read that he became a Hercules in the movies, and how much he trained, and how he won the Mr. Universe contest 3 times and all that. To me, this was the roadmap for me to go into exactly the same thing, to train 5 hours a day, become Mr. Universe. And that's, of course, a lot of working out to become Mr. Universe, but I was, I progressed, and I had so much talent, so much will, so much fire in my belly, that I became, with the age of 20, the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And from then on, I won 1 world championship title after the next, and basically dominated everything. But it was having that vision in front of me and chasing that vision. So when I trained in the gym, and everyone was running around there, huffing and puffing, I had a smile on my face in the gym. I couldn't wait to do the next squat with 400 pounds. I couldn't wait to do the next 20 chin-ups. I couldn't wait to do the next 500 sit-ups, because to me, that meant one step closer to achieving that vision and turning that vision into reality.
Can you still do the 400-pound stuff?
I cannot do the 400-pound stuff anymore.
What's the most you lift these days?
Well, I lift every day, but you know, after my heart surgery, the doctor said don't lift any more heavy. So now I do more repetitions, and they're training.
But your idea of a lightweight and mine are probably 2 very different things, aren't they?
So maybe it's a different thing, yes.
What is your idea of a lightweight these days?
Well, I still, you know, been lifting with 150, 200 pounds and stuff like that.
Just 150, 200 pounds?
Yeah.
You know,
there's still
my back.
500 sit-ups and leg raises.
How many sit-ups?
500 sit-ups and leg raises.
Wait a minute, 500 sit-ups?
Bicycle, I ride the bicycle every day for an hour. So I exercise every day. But remember that, especially when you do movies, I mean, when you have to do those stunts and you have to do this action, no one cares that you're 65 years old. You know, they still have to do it. You still have to be in there and jumping in.
Especially the Expendables, where they're all built like breakout houses.
Oh no, right? They were all in great shape, and it was great.
If you all got in a room together and had a fight, the Expendables, who would win? It was a real fight, straight fight.
Whatever the director says.
Sylvester Stallone. Sly's been a very good friend of yours for a very long time. Most Saturdays in Beverly Hills, you go to the same cafe and you have lunch and you chew the fat. He's told me you're very competitive. One turns up with a big watch one week. Next week, the other one turns up with a bigger watch. It's one of those competitive relationships. But I would imagine he's been great support to you in the last year. And then he himself was hit by this appalling tragedy of his son dying. And I would imagine you've been equally supportive back. Tell me about your relationship.
Well, it's an interesting relationship, because we started out kind of friendly when he was in the very beginning. We shared the same agency, the same agent and everything, and he was into working out, I was into working out. But then eventually it became very competitive. You know, he was doing, you know, Rocky, I was doing the Pumping Iron movie, and both movies became very popular, and I continued on. He took off much faster after the Rocky movie. He won the Golden Globe and the Oscar, and the film was a huge hit and all this. And since then we've been competing, you know, we've been chasing each other. he came out and started using the big machine guns, and I, in the next movie, Commando, had to use a bigger machine gun. Then we started competing on who can kill more people on the screen, and who can kill them in the most creative way, who had the bigger guns, who can shot more shots, and it went on, who had more box office success, and who can do more movies a year. It was crazy. The 80s was all about total competition. Who can outdo the next guy? And it was really terrific in a way, even though it was not good for our relationship, but it was terrific because it inspired me. He was a true inspiration for me, and he got inspired to outdo me, and so he performed better. So it was the competition that made us perform and go all out. But then we started the restaurant chain, Planet Hollywood, and he came to Robert Earl, and he said, I'm in, I want to be in. And Bruce Willis said, well, I want to be in. And, and then he came to me and he says, we want you to be in. What do you think about working with all three? I said, that would be terrific. And we got together, we formed this partnership, and from then on, we became really close friends. And on each trip we went, we got closer and closer. And I got to really understand him, and how talented he is.
He's a great guy.
So many people just see, his action movies, but how talented he is in directing, how talented he is in writing, and then especially in his art, in painting and all this stuff, very extraordinary, So he's so good at so many different things.
I don't want to repeat the question, but I was just curious how it's been for you two this year, when you've been...
Well, we've been very supportive. He has been very supportive, and helped me, and I've been very supportive to him. And you're right. I mean, he has had a terrible tragedy that was beyond his control. Mine was self-inflicted, but his was, without any doubt, it just happened. That his half-sister, step-sister passed away, and his son passed away, and all that. And I can imagine of what all of this feels like. As a matter of fact, I can't really imagine what it is like to lose a child.
No, I can't.
Because the amount of love I have for my children, and to find out from one day to the next, or from 1 minute to the next, they're gone, is a horrible kind of news that you get. And he was devastated, he was crying, and he was like really out, and I could really feel. So I called him, obviously, and met with him and talked with him several times, and tried to help as much as I can to help him out of this.
Was it cathartic doing the book? Was it something that you felt by the time you closed the last chapter and finished and read it through, you were glad you'd done it, even though you may get criticized from certain quarters?
I think that it was a great idea to do the book. I think that my story is really an interesting story. As you said earlier, to come over here with absolutely nothing, to grow up after the Second World War with the brutalities, and with every man being angry in Austria, feeling like losers, they've lost the war and all this kind of thing. We were occupied by Great Britain and by the Soviet, by Russia, France and America. And it was really tough in the beginning. And then to come over here and to be part of this great country and enjoy the land of opportunity, and people receiving you with open arms, and that everything that I've accomplished here, to go up that ladder and to accomplish all of those things, and to travel the world, and to meet the most extraordinary people, political leaders, and Nelson Mandela, and to spend time in his prison cell, and to talk to him about forgiveness and all of those things, and to work with Special Olympics with him, and this, or with Gorbachev about his time in office, and with Bill Clinton and with George Bush, and to spend all of this time with George Bush at Camp David, and to do horse throwing, and sleep and trap shooting, and to sit in the Oval Office, and to listen to his meetings.
It's an amazing moment for a guy from
unbelievable.
An unknown kid from Austria.
It's unbelievable that ride, and the book also deals with the determination and the fanaticism and the competitiveness and always stay keeping the eye on the ball. And they even have the 15 Arnold rules and all of those things that helped me get through and to get to where I am today. And so that's what the book is about.
Whatever you've done in your life, when you've wanted something badly enough, you've tended to get there. You clearly would like to repair your marriage to the great, as you said, the one and only love of your life, really. If Maria's watching this, and she might well be watching this, what would you say to her?
I just say sorry for what I've done, you know, and I want to win her back, and you know, and I hope, even though she talks about forgiveness, I hope that she really can forgive.
Do you deserve to be forgiven, do you think?
I think everyone deserves to be forgiven and get a break. Yes, I do, and then it's up to me what I do with that.
You've always been very good to me, Arnold, over the years. You've given me many interviews. You've always been very supportive to me in my career, and I'm not going to join the ranks of people trampling on you right now. It's a fascinating book. It's riveting, the story. You're brutally honest about what happened in the last year. I wish you all the very best. I hope you do manage to sort things out with Maria, because in the end, no one knows what goes on behind closed doors in people's marriages. And I think the contrition you've shown is sincere, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Coming next month.